Hello BookTube, hello book friends. Welcome back to my channel and another Poetry Thursday video. Today I have some more war poetry, women's war poetry for you. Two different poets, and I think I'm going to read two poems from each of them. The first poet is Olivia Fitzroy. She was born in 1921 and served in the Women's Royal Naval Service, of the Wrens, during the Second World War as a flight direction officer. So she'd been someone in one of the map rooms directing fighters probably towards incoming enemy planes. And she was based at Yeovilton at the start of the war, and then latterly moved out to what we now call Sri Lanka, but was then known as Ceylon. She had a boyfriend who was sadly killed in action in 1945. He was a pilot, and after the war she travelled with Chipperfield's Circus, gathering material for a book, and then she moved to Scotland, married, had two daughters, and in total published 9 books during her lifetime. The second poet is Virginia Graham. She was born in 1910, and she was the daughter of a lyricist known as Harry Graham. She worked for the Women's Voluntary Service, the RVS, during the Second World War. She contributed to many periodicals, including Punch, and was a film critic for The Spectator magazine for 10 years between 1946 and 1956. So I've got, as I say, two poems from each. I've been having a little bit of a struggle to kind of pick the ones that I want, but I think I've got them. So we'll start with Olivia Fitzroy, and the first poem is called Fleet Fighter. "Good show," he said, leaned his head back and laughed. "They're wizard types," he said, and held his beer steadily, looked at it and gulped it down out of its jam jar, took a cigarette and blew a neat smoke ring into the air. "After this morning's prang, I've got the twitch. I thought I'd had it in that teased-out kite." His eyes were blue and older than his face. His single stripe had known a lonely war, but all this talk and movements showed his age. His whole life was the air and his machine. He had no thought but of the latest mod. His jargon was of aircraft or of beer. "And what will you do afterwards?" I said. Then saw his puzzled face and caught my breath. There was no afterwards for him but death. And the second poem is entitled When He Is Flying. "When I was young, and I thought that if death came, he would come suddenly, and with a swift hand kill, taking all feeling, want, laughter and fear, leaving a cold and soulless shell on earth, while the small winged soul flew on at peace. I used to think those things when I was young, but now I know. Death stands beside me, never very far, an unseen shadow just beyond my view. And if I hear an engine throb and fade, or see a neat formation pass, or a lone fighter soar, hover and dart, he takes another step more near, and lays his cold, unhurried hand upon my heart." And then Virginia Graham, and the first poem is entitled 1939, Somewhere in England. "Somewhere there must be music, and great swags of flowers, leisured meals lasting for hours, and smooth green lawns and roses. Somewhere there must be dogs with velvet noses, and people lounging in big chairs, and bees buzzing in the pears. So short a while, and yet how long since I was idling golden days away, shopping a little and going to the play. Somewhere the red leaves must be fluttering down, but I am on my way to Kentish town, in Mrs. Brodie's van, which has no brakes and rattles like a can. Tomorrow I shall go to Wanstead Flats with bales of straw or a cargo of tin hats, or 90 mattresses to aid the nether portions of the fire brigade. Not for me a quiet stroll along the Mall. I must be off to Woolwich Arsenal with our Miss West, and it seems I cannot rest. There shall be no folding of my feet at all till I have been to Islington Town Hall. With a buff envelope, some day it is my tenderest hope to leave my hair washed, and I would love to buy something, anything, so long as I could stop for a moment and look into the window of a shop. Somewhere there must be women reading books and talking of chicken rissoles to their cooks. For every time I try to read the grapes of wrath, I am sent forth on some occupation, apparently immensely vital to the nation. To my disappointed cook I only say, I shan't need any meals at all today. Somewhere I know they're singing songs of praise and going happily to matinees, and home to buttered toast, but I at my post shall bravely turn my thoughts from such enjoyment. Ah, for the time when, blessed with unemployment, I lived a life of sweet content, leisured and smug and opulent. Fear not, Miss Tatham, I am ready, as you see, to go to Romford Hospital or Lee. Be not dismayed, I will not stray or roam. Look how I fly to Brookwood Mental Home. See with what patriotic speed I go to Poplar, Ealing, Beckenham and Bow. And the second poem is called It's All Very Well Now. It's all very well now, but when I'm an old lady, I think I shall be amazed and even a bit more annoyed, maybe, when I look back at these years of ceaseless effort and consider what I did to keep my country free. If only I were making munitions or had joined the forces, my grandchildren, I know, would not think I thought I'd fought in vain. But why on earth I did some of the things I am doing now will be so terribly tiresome to explain. How can I convince them that it was so England's good that I went to Waterloo to meet 2 goats travelling from Camberley and drove them in a car across to Victoria, where I put them in another train, 3rd class, non-smoker of course, to Amberley? Why do you suppose, when London was burning, did I find myself alone with a church army lady from Rye? And why did we do nothing at all except drink port and lemon? She had a dish cover on her head, tied on with zingery tie. And will my children believe me when I tell them that I carried a flame within me that no mortal power could douse, not even when I was made to take a van load of corsets and molasses to confuse already hopelessly confused admirals at Trinity House? I must confess I sometimes get a bit confused myself. Why am I doing this? I ask and wonder, why in Britain's name will I do that? Did I really imagine it would lead us grimly forward to victory, to share my smoked salmon sandwiches with the Home Office cat? All my little war stories will sound so frivolous. The old lady is getting very frail, they will say, very soft in the brain. But I shall nod and say, believe me, my children, in my young days, everybody was automatically quite insane. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.